January 2026 is shaping up to deliver one of the most consequential winter weather events the United States has experienced in many years, as a powerful and rapidly evolving storm system begins its journey across the central part of the country and pushes eastward with a dangerous combination of snow, ice, and extreme cold. Early signals from weather guidance indicate that this system will first assert itself across parts of Oklahoma, North Texas, and southern Kansas, where conditions will deteriorate quickly from ordinary winter cold into a high-impact event capable of disrupting travel, utilities, and daily life on a massive scale. What makes this storm particularly concerning is not just its size, but the way it evolves, intensifies, and strikes in multiple phases, delivering repeated rounds of hazardous weather rather than a single short-lived burst. During the initial phase, precipitation is expected to break out late Friday into early Saturday, with snow developing north of the Red River and a dangerous mix of sleet and freezing rain forming farther south, especially across North Texas. As temperatures hover near critical thresholds, even small changes in atmospheric structure could dramatically affect local outcomes, turning what appears to be manageable snowfall into crippling ice accumulation within a matter of hours. By Saturday morning, snowfall rates may increase sharply across central Oklahoma, with several inches possible in a relatively short time, while ice builds steadily on power lines, trees, bridges, and untreated roads to the south. The storm does not pause after this first impact. Instead, it reorganizes and strengthens, pulling in additional moisture from the Gulf while colder air deepens near the surface, setting the stage for a second and more severe round of winter weather Saturday night into Sunday. This phase poses the greatest threat to regions stretching from eastern Texas through Arkansas, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and parts of Kentucky, where prolonged periods of freezing rain may occur. Unlike brief icing events, extended freezing rain is especially destructive, as it allows ice to accumulate layer upon layer, increasing weight on infrastructure until failures become inevitable. Power outages could become widespread, particularly in areas where ice totals exceed half an inch, and in some isolated corridors, amounts approaching or even exceeding 3/4 of an inch are not out of the question. Such totals are rare and historically associated with some of the most damaging winter storms on record. North of the ice zone, conditions shift sharply toward heavy snow, with parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley potentially experiencing long-duration snowfall that leads to totals well into the double digits. Cities such as Cincinnati, Louisville, Indianapolis, and Columbus may find themselves under hours of steady, wind-driven snow, making road clearing operations difficult and prolonging hazardous travel conditions well beyond the end of the storm itself. As the system continues eastward on Sunday, attention turns to the Appalachian region and the Mid-Atlantic, where the complex interaction between terrain, cold air trapped at the surface, and warmer air aloft could create another dangerous icing setup, particularly east of the mountains. Cold air damming in this region has a history of producing severe freezing rain events, and this storm appears capable of exploiting that vulnerability, placing parts of Virginia, North Carolina, and surrounding areas at risk of significant ice accumulation and extended power disruptions. Meanwhile, farther north, the storm's energy transfers toward the coast, allowing a powerful low-pressure system to intensify as it approaches the northeast. This transition increases the likelihood of heavy snow across major population centers along the I-95 corridor, including Washington, Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. In these areas, snowfall rates could become intense at times, rapidly covering roads and overwhelming municipal snow removal efforts. While there remains uncertainty regarding exact totals and precipitation types near the coast, current projections suggest that a large portion of the Northeast could see one of its most impactful snowstorms in several years, particularly if colder air remains firmly in place. Even modest shifts in the storm track could determine whether some cities experience historic snowfall or a disruptive mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, underscoring the high-stakes nature of this forecast. Beyond the immediate hazards of snow and ice, This storm carries a secondary threat that may prove just as serious: the extreme cold that follows in its wake. As the system exits the east coast, an Arctic air mass is expected to surge southward, driving temperatures well below seasonal averages across much of the eastern United States, in areas already dealing with power outages and ice-laden infrastructure. This prolonged cold could transform an already difficult situation into a prolonged crisis, particularly for vulnerable populations without reliable heat. Frozen pipes, delayed repairs, and extended school and business closures may persist for days, compounding the storm's overall impact. Emergency management officials in several states have already taken action, declaring states of emergency and urging residents to prepare for extended disruptions by securing alternative heat sources, charging backup power devices, stocking food and water, and avoiding unnecessary travel once conditions worsen. The importance of preparation cannot be overstated, as winter storms of this magnitude often strain response resources and slow recovery efforts, especially when multiple regions are affected simultaneously. Adding to the concern is the broader weather pattern developing behind this event, which suggests that the atmosphere may remain locked in a winter-dominant configuration for some time. Meteorologists are already monitoring signals that point toward additional storm systems potentially developing along similar tracks in the days and weeks following this event, raising the possibility that this is not an isolated incident but rather the opening chapter of an active and unforgiving winter stretch. If those signals verify, communities impacted by this storm may have little time to recover before facing renewed threats of snow, ice, or extreme cold. Taken together, these factors make the January 2026 winter storm a defining weather event, one that highlights how quickly conditions can escalate from routine winter inconvenience to widespread disruption and danger. As the storm unfolds, staying informed, following official guidance, and taking proactive steps to ensure safety will be critical, because this system has the potential not only to rewrite snowfall and ice records in some areas, but also to leave a lasting mark on infrastructure, emergency response systems, and daily life across a large portion of the country.